All right. Well, our starter went bad. So this video is going to talk about how to replace your starter if you have the same situation. Step one is going to be removing the cowl, and pretty much what you always have to do when you're working on a BMW. The concept is remove the cowl, remove the intakes, the throttle body, possibly the intake manifold. This is my first time doing this, and I'm just kind of going in there blind. But I know for sure you have to remove the throttle body. The starter is kind of in back that area. If you got to remove the intake manifold, we will. But when my brother-in-law is doing that stuff, I'll talk about how you diagnose a starter. This is an automatic car. He parked this car, came back in. We're in a random parking lot doing this, so we're saving ourselves a tow. If your car doesn't start, first thing you always want to do is check voltage. BMWs, if they even drop down a little bit, sometimes they just make it so the starter doesn't crank. One time I thought I had a bad starter or something else was wrong with the car, but my car literally needed a jump start. Okay, so first things first, check your battery voltage using MHD or Pro Tools or just a voltmeter. Make sure that's good. This car, we confirmed the voltage was good. After that, what we did was we tried jump starting it, okay? That's always the second step. Make sure it's not the battery, okay? You can't just assume because your car's not starting, it's a starter. Always got to diagnose minor invasive first, so battery, and then you can go and check other things in the car. But once the jump starting didn't work, we tried two different ways. We tried a jumper pack and a car. Then we kind of realized, okay, it's probably the starter. Now this car's an automatic, so we couldn't just push start it. We just kind of had to diagnose it as such. But we did run the codes on Pro Tools, and I'll put the codes that we had like right over here. It did throw a starter code. So that kind of made us for sure that it was a starter. So anyways, again, cowls are gonna come off. We're gonna take the intakes off. We have DCIs on here, so just a few screws to take those off. Stock airbox is pretty simple as well. I have another video showing how to take out the stock airbox. I'll link to this one as well. Once we get that off, we are then gonna take off the factory charge pipe, which is held on by that hose clamp over there. So you can use a flathead screwdriver. And then this little clip right over here. You'll disconnect the vacuum lines off the diverter valves, and then if these are hooked up to your intakes, you'll spin those two pipes and then take them off your intakes. Obviously we have that not on this car because we wanted the cool blow-off valve sounds. And then the charge pipe is going to come off, and then we'll work on the throttle body. So we're going to do that, and then we'll be right back. Usually you see me working on these cars, but I got some tricep tendonitis right now, so it's my brother-in-law. All right, you want to try this now?
Yep.
We got this clamp loose, so this clamp is gonna come off that lower charge pipe. This you just kind of gotta wiggle out. I also forgot to mention that we gotta take off this clip for the T-map sensor. We could do that once we get the charge pipe out. I guess we can do it right now. Take a little screwdriver or a pick. You're gonna raise up and pull out the connector. It's pretty straightforward. I have another video for that if you want to know how to take off the T-map sensor, but you want to go ahead and give that a shot.
All right.
Guess I'll just show you. If you have never taken these off before, you just gotta rotate them counterclockwise and pull up out the intake. Yeah, wiggle this downward like that, and then charge pipe just comes off this lower connector. You want to zoom in right here, show them what I'm doing. You just gotta separate it from here as well. Careful not to break your coolant hoses and stuff. Ah, my tricep. It's all right. It's gonna be crusty. It's obviously never been moved before. There you have it. Charge pipe is out. That's the tab you have to lift up on. So I took my little screwdriver, lifted up on that, pulled on the connector, and pretty straightforward to take out the charge pipe. All right, let's see what we got now. The starter, I see that puppy. It's down right there. That black thing I'm pointing the light at, right over there. That's the starter. So, honestly, we probably could get it with the intake manifold on, but it's gonna be so much easier taking this intake manifold off. And it's not difficult. I do have a intake manifold removal video that I'll link to this one to show you how to remove it. But essentially what we're going to be doing is taking off the 4 bolts for the throttle body, then 1, 2, 3, 4, I think it's 7 bolts that hold the intake manifold up, and just remove it. Look at the starter.
starter is down there. I can see a little better now, but you see a little red wiring. But I'm for sure gonna take this intake manifold off, make my life easier. I would recommend the same. Now to take the intake manifold off is simply just this connector now for this T-map. Pry up right here. Just a little bit. You want to break the tab off. Got a few things out here that you want to move out the way. And then 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bolts / nuts that are 11 millimeter in size. Let's get that going. All right, we got all the bolts off. Down here, this box is just on these 2 tabs. You saw me struggle a little bit with them because it's a little crusty. Essentially, all you really got to do is push down on this little metal tabs that hold. Take the rest off, but right here is a tab right there. Just got to push down on that tab so the box can slide out on both sides. If it's a little rusty, you just got to move it around a little bit. Took me like a few minutes just to get it out, but all bolts are out now. I believe my trick here is to move this inlet kind of out the way. I grab this, pull up a little bit while making sure these lines stay out the way. I kind of go upwards. This inlet is in the way. Here we go. Push this inlet down. Up, connectors in the way, inlet down. There we go. Speed up. This crap is in the way, so move that crap out of the way. Move these wires out the way, and la. Not difficult at all. Yeah, you know, I do have a little bit of practice. I've done this more than once. What is this connector still? Oh. Yeah, whatever these 2 screws are. If you want to take it off all the way, there's these 2 little hold downs for this, whatever the heck. Oh, this is for the throttle body line. So you can just remove this grommet or remove these little T25 screws out of the way. I might as well do it while I'm here. It doesn't hurt it, nothing. All right, we got the 2 T25s out, which were right over here. And bada boom, bada bing. Take manifolds off. I want to bring the camera over here. While we're here, we can inspect his intake valves. Oh my, these are bad. Sorry, it's a little off topic, but this thing needs a walnut blast. I have another video for that. Again, subscribe to my channel if you like this N54 content. Your support means the world to me. I'm gonna hold this. We'll start off with the starter now. And again, this is my first time doing an N54 starter. By the way, before touching this, we should disconnect the battery. So I will go back there and disconnect it. This is your signal wire. So you're gonna push the signal wire in, wiggle the connector out. We will then remove the solenoid wire. This is going to the alternator and to the battery. I like how they put it in series. Usually they're in parallel, but that's pretty cool. So whatever size this is, might be like a 13 or 14, maybe a 15. But like I said before, I touch this. I don't want to touch this as this is positive and touch anything that's ground. You'll cause a short circuit. We're gonna go ahead and go in the back and disconnect the battery first. Okay, so it is a 13 millimeter. I have to get the battery out. After you disconnect the battery, you want to wait like 5-10 minutes. I pumped on the brake pedal and turn on the high beams and stuff, so if there's any juice left over, it gets away. Lefty loosey on that. 13 millimeter. All right, I'll pull that off the starter. Now we have the signal wire off, we have the power wire off. How the starter is grounded onto the vehicle is just through the block itself. So we should just have 2 more bolts holding this thing in place. Let's actually see the new starter. Where's the new starter at? It's right over here. I always like looking at the new starter just to get an idea of how this is being held in. Easier for me to find bolts and stuff. So like I said, got the connector off, got that off, and just 2 bolts. Let's go see what those bolts are. Sometimes it's a third one that's hidden, so I was like looking at the new starter first. We have what looks like an E10 in the back side, so that's going to be kind of tricky to get to. So that's the through bolt. It's a long bolt too, so that's not going to be fun. We're definitely going to do that one first, and then the second bolt is right over here. Should be a little easier. It's either going to be an E10 or E12. If it's an E10, you can also use a 12.8mm box end wrench if you're careful with it. If it's an E12, you can use a 10. So I'm actually going to try. Oh man, my ratchet wrench is broken. That's not helpful, but let's just see for size wise. 8mm will go on there. Nope, so that's probably gonna be an E12 then. Here's the E12. Yep, it's an E12. So E12 or a 12.10mm, if you're really careful, you can use that as well. In this situation, because that bolt's in an awkward angle, what I'm gonna use, and again, whatever works for you, works for you. I'm gonna use this 10mm Matco ratchet wrench because I can then hit that weird angle. Whatever tool works for you, as long as, I mean, everyone has their own way of doing it, but that hugs it. And let's see if I can put some torque on there without it stripping. There you go. I tried. I got it though. Let me just use my left hand. I broke it loose and I'm getting it, so I'm gonna go ahead and stick with this method to get that bolt out completely. Again, whatever method you want to use, if you have a better way of doing it, this is gonna make it easy, so I don't have to go like underneath the car or whatever. Pretty far. See if I can get it with my hand now. And the reason I want to do that one first is because I always like getting the harder bolt out. Oh, feels like I have it. Holy crap, this bolt's long. All right. There it is, and wow. That is a super duper long bolt. Don't drop, please don't drop on me right now. Two hands. Yeah, please make sure not to drop this bolt. Do yourself a favor. Ah, there it is. This is how she looks. Like I said, as long as you get a good grip on it with a 10mm. This Matco one is actually like a specially designed one, so it hugs it pretty well. So, I mean, it worked. Go ahead and do the same for the front one. Front one, you could probably get a socket on there, but because this worked well for me in the back, I'll do the same thing in the front here. I got the inlet in the way. So, get this on. Just break loose. There you go, broke loose. I honestly don't know. Let's see. There you go. That's a much shorter bolt. This is what we got on this side. This is the front side bolt. And now, my left hand, this shit is, yay! Not too difficult, maybe an hour. Taking our time, we're at our workplace too, so I've been going in and out of work and checking up on work too. I would say about 40 minutes to get the starter out. And this is a fairly stock car, so let's see what the heck happened with this thing. Looks like the plunger, no, it wasn't even spinning, so whatever. Turn that for the core. This compares to the new starter before we put it in. Make sure they didn't give us a wrong one. Sometimes they mix up auto and manual or different types of engines. These look like they're pretty much identical. Figure out the size of this new bolt that comes with it, the bolt and the washer. And that's cool ground. Reverse these procedures. All right, so this is fairly it's simple to put the starter back on. You can actually see the flywheel from where we are. Where did the flashlight go? See my flashlight? I think it's better. flywheel is right over there. So all you really got to do is push the starter until the teeth on the starter kind of sit with the flywheel. So if it doesn't go in right away, you can kind of just wiggle it like that until it sits in place. And then we're going to reverse the procedures. Just put the bolts back in. Don't know the torx back. Tight, really tight. So you'll see a little wiggle. There you go. Got a seatment. We got a seat. That's seated. Line it up. I guess I'll put the back bolt in first. There you go. Got it in. Put the bolt through. Now I can line up the starter again. There it is. Start a few threads by hand to make sure you're not stripping it. Getting kind of dark now, but I don't have it fully tightened yet. I have it so we can see the threads, kind of. So we still have a little bit of play, so I can now line up the front one. You never want to fully tighten one bolt without the other bolt in there, otherwise you're gonna have a really hard time and almost impossible time lining everything up. All right, that one's good now. I have that one just about dialed in. Now I'm gonna go ahead and fully tighten the rear one and the front one, then double check both of them, and then we're gonna move on to reversing these steps and putting everything back together. And let's see if this car starts, guys. Okay. Yeah. We're gonna put this one back on now. We'll probably just use the we'll use the new bolt in the washer. This new one looks like a 12. Just using a professional opinion. I don't think it's 13 like the factory one was, but again, you don't want to break that stud off. You also don't want it to come off. Obviously, there's a lot of vibrations with the starter. That's snug. Got the lock washer on there as well. Don't forget the signal wire, otherwise your car won't start. You'll think your starter's still bad. It's pushed in. By the way, high pressure fuel plug's right over there if you have to replace that ever. I have a video on that as well. Shameless plug. Got a lot of videos now. Getting up there in the YouTube world. All that's done. Let's go ahead and put the intake manifold back on. The trick for this, same thing like how you took it off. Move everything. You want to get on that back stud. That's the first step. With a kind of a upward angle. You have to move the inlet out the way to do that. There you go. Let's line up on that back stud. Move away all the wiring crap. There you go. Then kind of just lift up to get that upwards angle that this thing usually sits in. Because remember, this N54 is like on a tilt. There it is. Bop. So again, make sure you're doing it at an angle. A lot of people try going straight, and that's why they struggle. I did that in what, 20 seconds? Professional. Make sure there's nothing out. Oh, also before you do that, make sure your gaskets are on there. I didn't really check that, but well, if they aren't, sorry, your car, not mine. Put your screws back in, tied in inside to outside. Loosening should have been outside to inside, tightening is inside to outside. I kind of messed that one up, oops, but no biggie. And I believe torx spec, again, look at my intake manifold video. I think it was like 9 to 12 foot-pounds or something. I got the exact torx spec. Putting the box back on now. Okay, push it back up onto the clips. Using my left hand because. All right, throttle body's next. What we'll do is we'll get the connector on there. Connector, throttle body hose. You can also do this after. Put the bolts in. All right, we're gonna put the charge pipe back in.
And honestly, I'm probably just gonna rest the intakes in place. I just want to see if the car starts before putting everything fully back together, just in case. But for the charge pipe, we're gonna stick it in like that. Put this over the lower charge pipe like that, so it goes all the way back before tightening that. There you go. I guess we'll put the front on first. May make more sense doing that. That goes over the bracket. Wiggle it up. There you go. Now it's seated in place. Push that and pull out just to make sure it's seated, which it is. Then I can put this part back on. The lower charge pipe. Tighten that back up with the screwdriver, or it looks like a 7 or 8 millimeter if you want to go that route. My electric ratchet died, otherwise I probably would have went that route. Make sure to tighten that, because if you can tighten this down all the way, this contains boost pressure, then it'll pop off and you'll lose boost pressure. You'll call it ride like crap. Potentially have stuff going into your engine. All right. Vacuum line for the BOV, the blow off valve. Bada boom. If you're running your blow off valve recirculated, obviously pop that back into the intake. Don't forget your MAT-map sensor connector. Make sure that goes in. Boom. Oil pressure sensor. Auto check engine light. If you don't plug that back in. That one's I already plugged back in. Brake booster. We do the intakes first and then do this? Yeah, I think we do the intakes first, right? So I'll just pop the intake on. I won't tighten these up just yet, just because I want to try it out. But honestly, if you want to, you probably could. And let's go ahead and try to start this vehicle. Am I missing anything? I'll put that, honestly, I'll put that screw in back later. Like I said, I just want to get this started. You have the keys?
I do. The battery. Reconnect the battery.
And there's light. All right, cool. I'll just go ahead and crank it to see if it works. Make sure nothing is in the way. Huh? Non-BMW people.
All right, let's see. Starts. Hey.
No, I want to do it. That's not right away. You notice it? Oh, like no thing.
Nice.
Awesome. 8:42. We got here at like 7. So hour and 45 minutes with me taking my sweet old time. I got this whole job done. Pretty much start to finish. We'll do a little loose ends, but that's how you replace your starter. Everyone, I hope this video helped you. Again, please, if you could like and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me. Your support means the world to me. A lot of N54 stuff, a lot of ATV stuff. If you want to see any specific video with anything I own, let me know. I don't have any problem making it. I'm pretty handy when it comes to this stuff. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Until next time. Peace. Don't forget about the 4Runner. We also are doing stuff like that.